Hello friends. Today we're going to discuss about National Exit Test Regulation 2023. These regulations coded under National Medical Commission Act of 2019. I'm Dr. Suresh Badanmat, Professor of Psychiatry, working at National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, Bangalore. In this video, I'll be discussing about National Exit Examination or Test with regard to NMC Act of 2019, the relevant section I'll be discussing here, and also the National Exit Test Regulation 2023. The National Medical Commission Act of 2019 was passed in the Parliament and received the presidential assent on 8th of August 2019. This NMC Act of 2019 has 8 chapters and 61 sections. With regard to national examination, Chapter 4, which codes for Section 14 and 15, becomes very important. Let's discuss these two important sections. Section 14 talks about national examination. The National Medical Commission shall conduct the national examination. One, it is called as NEET, National Eligibility-Cum-Entrance Test for admission for UG, PG or super speciality. Further, it also says that a common final year undergraduate medical examination, to be known as National Exit Test, shall be held for granting license to practice medicine as a medical practitioner and for enrollment in the state register or the national register within 3 years of starting this legislation. That means this came in 2019 and invariably by 2023, the national examination should start. At the same time, Section 15 talks about common counseling. The National Exit Test shall be the basis for admission for PG and NEET will be for UG. And there should be a common counseling which will be held. And at the same time, any foreign medical graduate or foreign medical qualification who has done his MBBS, who wants to practice in India, shall take and qualify National Exit Test mandatorily. And it also says that the central government shall conduct the common counseling for all India seats and designated authority of the state government shall conduct the common counseling seats at the state level. Now moving to the regulation. This is called as Next Exam Regulation, and this is, as I coded, is coded under National Medical Commission, and it is the regulation which comes through the power of the NMC Act of 2019 Section 15 and Section 57. This important regulation came into force on 27 June 2023. It is also called as Next 2023 because it is National Exit Test Regulation 2023. It has 3 chapters. The first chapter is definition and general method of next. The second one is broad outline and general features of next. The third one is general information regarding next step 1, step 2 and time schedules for this next exam. What is the objective of this National Examination Regulation? Let's understand. The first and the foremost is the NEET exam is for admission to MBBS, that is UG. Next, step 1 is an essential step for final MBBS exam so that he can do internship, and step 2 will be passing the MBBS for permanent registration. So why there are so many exams? Of course, NEET 1 is very clear. It is Eligibility-Cum-Entrance test. Whereas step 1 is an essential step with regard to internship. Earlier, during internship, there was no registration. Here, you will need to pass next step 1 to get a provisional registration to practice, because during internship, you will be issuing various prescriptions under the guidance. Further, the next step 1 also plays a role for admission for PG course. The next step 2 is an exam for permanent registration and also in state wherever you want to practice, that is, state license to practice will be given. So these are the important objectives which have been brought in here. And one common is there is a common counseling. At the same time, a national examination means a standardized examination and assessment of the students. Who can take this next exam? The person who is pursuing MBBS, foreign medical graduate, or a registered medical practitioner. Now he wants to do PG. All admission to PG will be only through next exam and common counseling. That means now the private medical colleges cannot play around and say, I am giving management quota. That is completely illegal now. Everybody has to pass next exam and go through common counseling. Earlier, this illegal, manipulative business of private medical colleges will come to halt because everybody has to take next exam and common counseling. Next will be implemented in a phased manner. The reason being is there are many students who are doing MBBS. Some of them are doing internship. Some of them are preparing for PG entrance. It's since there are students in various phases, the next exam has to be implemented in a phased manner. That's very essential. The transition should be smooth. Further, since there are various people are taking exam, the use of scores and normalization of different examination during the transition is very essential. This normalization of a different examination is a statistical method where they are going to use the raw score to generate ranking. Now let's move to the chapter 2. Chapter 2 talks about broad outline and general features. It discusses about next step 1 exam, step 2 exam. The next score, the nature of scoring, minimum score to pass, calculation of next step 1 score so that the ranking can be given. Based on that ranking, PG seats are allotted, and where else this next exam scores can be utilized. Let's look into the next step 1 exam. In step 1, it is a theory exam involving different types of MCQs, and it will be computerized based exam. And also, a common counseling will be done by a designated authority, and this next step 1 also can be done by either by an MC themselves, or they can designate an authority or an institution to do step 1 exam. Step 1 exam has 6 papers: medicine, surgery, OBG, ENT, ophthal, and pediatrics. Although these are the final year papers, but applied aspects of first year and second year MBBS questions will be asked in step 1. Step 1 will be conducted twice a year, May and November annually. Next, step 1 and step 2 shall be completed within 10 years of joining the MBBS. If you don't finish within 10 years, that means you will not be getting any kind of registration and license to practice. That means the person will be thrown out of MBBS course. However, there are no restriction for number of attempt for next one and next two, but both has to be finished in 10 years, my dear friends. However, a person who wants to take next exam, step 1, to improve the scores. Once he has already passed, but he wants to take again. But before he goes for next step 1 again, he need to pass next step 2. Once he finishes step 2, then he can attempt a number of times the next one. But however, it has to be finished within 10 years, my dear friends. All those completed final year MBBS or internship shall be eligible to take step 1 also now. Next step 1 shall replace the conventional university or institutional theory exams, my dear friends. Next step 1, whom we say who have passed. Passing next step 1 is considered as a whole number which shall serve as the raw score with appropriate decimals and subsequently corresponding percentage. The minimum marks for passing shall be 50% or half of the maximum possible raw score for next step 1 for each paper. That means there are 6 papers, and in each paper, the student needs to score at least 50%, my dear friends. And based upon the step 1 exam results and the raw score, the PG seats will be allotted. But however, please understand, here many people would have passed, some of them have passed only few papers. That means we are going to have some amount of chaos. Hence, there is a need for to normalize the score. That is, the sum of raw score obtained in each paper, that is, in each single next step 1 examination, only will be considered. And the step 1 exam score will be valid for 5 years. Suppose I have attempted the second time. The last step 1 exam will be considered for getting PG seats. Please remember, you need to pass all papers scoring 50%, and whenever you attempt the next time, the last attempt will be considered. That means you may have to take step 1 every time, all subjects, to improve the scores. If you don't want to do PG, you can finish around 4 or 5 attempts each paper and get your license to practice. But whenever you want to get a PG seat, you have to take next step all the papers so that the last attempt will be considered for the ranking system. Once you finish your step 1 and step 2, you need to apply for generation of ranking to attend the counseling, my dear friends. This is one more step. That means you need to pay some amount of nominal fees to generate ranking within 5 years of completing step 1 exam. Sometimes during the step 1 exam, the same raw score will be there for various students. Then there is a tiebreakers have been clearly mentioned. The normalized sum score of the raw score obtained in each paper in single next exam will be considered. The candidates with lower attempts of next step 1 will be considered. Candidate with higher marks in the following order, if a person has scored more in the medicine, will be considered for tiebreaker as the highest ranking. If even the medicine there is a draw, then they will be considered for surgery, OBG, pediatrics, ENT, and ophthal. So the normalized sum of raw score, if there is a tie, this is how they go into manage. That step 1 exam for PG entrance, the questions will be MCQ type and it will be case vignettes. Clinical case scenarios will be considered majoritarily. The rota based or memory based questions will be avoided as much as possible, and it will be hardly 5 to 15%. Problem solving will be the majority, 60 to 70%, and comprehension type will be 20 to 30%, my dear friends. And it's very clear, you will not ask questions with regard to memory based. And here again, the step 1 also talks about the questions, how they will be placed with regard to difficulty. The phase difficulties with regard to exam will be must know has to be 60%, nice to know will be 30%, may know is 10%. That means the 10% of the questions will be very difficult, 30% will be moderate, and 60% will be easy. Those are the things you must know. If you don't know, you will fail in the exam. Now let's move to the step 2 exam. Step 2 exam will be after internship, and it will be a practical viva-voce exam conducted by the university. There is no restriction to the number of step 2 attempts, but it has to be completed within 10 years of joining MBBS, and it has 7 papers: medicine, surgery, OBG, ENT, ophthal, pediatrics, and ortho, my dear friends. The way the exam step 2 will be conducted is in the form of objective structured, clinical case based, that is OSCE, simulated cases, patient aimed at evaluating practicals, clinical skills, clinical decision making, and communication skills. These exams will be conducted by the respective health universities or the universities. Next two, results will be declared as pass or fail. There will be no marking here. And regular exam for step 2 will be twice and 2 supplementary. That means next step 2 has to be conducted 4 times by the universities. Think about them. They have to recruit people to conduct next step 2 exams across all universities. That means every 3 months they will be conducting step 2 exam, 2 regular, 2 supplementary. These supplementary exams are for those people who have failed in 1 or 2 subjects in step 2. Suppose you fail in 3 subjects, you need to retake all the papers, my dear friends. So, supplementary plays a very crucial role here. But however, one need to understand that this is a very essential step so that there is a uniformity for both the students from India and also from the foreign medical graduates. This is a comprehensive practical and clinical examination to be conducted after internship, and they will be evaluated for competencies in clinical diagnosis, patient examination, decision making, communication skills, and management. As I mentioned earlier, evaluation will be based on OSCE, actual case, simulation. Look at the schedule. Step 1 exam will be conducted twice in a year, that is during May first week and November first week. And the results should be declared by first week of June, and results of the second half will be first week of December. Final MBBS first week of June, results will be third week of June, and also first week of December and the third week December it will be done. Internship admission will start 1st January to 31st December. Second will be 1st July to 30th June. That means it will be considered as first half and second half. This is how the schedule for step 1 and final MBBS. If you look at the step 2 exam, this is again, as I mentioned earlier, 2 cycles. Step 2 exams will be there. That is first half and second half, and a supplementary exam. That is 4 times they have to conduct. The step 2, first half will be conducted in third week of June. Results will be in the fourth week of June. That means within a week we have to declare the results. In the second half, third week of December and fourth week of December, the results will be out. Supplementary exam will be in the first week of March, and third week of March, the results will be declared. And with regard to second half, the September first week and third week of September, the supplementary will be conducted. PG admissions will occur during May to June counseling, and whereas the second half, that is 30th June, PG courses should start either in the 1st July in the first half, and second half is the 1st January, my dear friends. However, there may be mop-up at the end of year. Mop-up of these PG seats which have been left behind. That shall be again by a common counseling in the month of December for the seats which remain vacant after earlier counseling held in May, June, my dear friends. That means the seats which are vacant can be utilized in December. Let's understand the critique of this exams. What are the positive aspects? Step 1 is MCQ based exams. That means they are objective in nature, done twice a year. So there will be no bias by the examiners. And it is not based on writing essay exams which are completely memory based. Here it will be problem solving, case based, and which plays a very crucial role in rational thinking and cognitive ability of the student. Clinical and practical exams has 7 subjects which are pass or fail, twice regular and 2 supplementary will be conducted. Foreign medical graduates have to take these exams. Private medical colleges will not play around and start manipulating the system. Becomes very hard because they have to, all student has to pass NEET and next. And also, common counseling is mandatory. There will be no management quota at this point of time. Hence, many of these private medical colleges are already started protesting against the next exam. The reason being is their business of selling these medical seats is very far. Hence, they want to derail the next exam very badly. I request the citizens of India to know not to fall into this trap. What are the negative aspects? One of the major criticism is to bring in objectivity. These exams now will kill empathy, clinical skills, communication skills. However, the step 2 exams will take care of that. But step 1 is the one which will decide about the PG course. Hence, many of them have said it was unwanted. However, that is one of the perspective of looking at this regulation. And one of the important thing is one need to finish the MBBS, both step 1 and step 2 within 10 years of admission. Is it required 10 years? Or else 8 years is fine. Or else it should be 15 years. This is a question which has been asked by many people. However, the regulation says within 10 years you need to finish. If you don't finish, you will be thrown out of your MBBS course. The question here is it such a watertight compartment? Imagine many of these young ladies who are doing MBBS may get married, may go to maternity leave. Many a time they may fail, family emergencies, there may be a disability, accident. In such a scenario, they should have been given some amount of flexibility based upon a medical board or by the permission from the university. They should be allowed at least another 2 years. Further, INI's Institution of National Importance will not conduct PG exams now. Everything has to go through the next or NEET. That means now there will be no exams conducted by AIMS, NIMANS, PGI or JIPMER. They have to combine with the National Entrance and Exit exam, my dear friends. Now the universities only have to do practical exams. Theory exams have been removed and they do not have any role to play. Many of the universities are unhappy about this, and you have to conduct 4 times a year. That means 2 regular step 2 exam and 2 supplementary exam. Hence, the universities will be reduced to conduct only exams with regard to step 2. And one of the other criticism is NMC Act dictates about NEET exam, PG and UG admission. And it also, NMC Act says that the Indian national level seats will be allotted by the center and the state level by the state common counseling. However, this regulation talks about a common counseling and also national level single entrance exam and also single admission process. And there will be no common counseling at the state level. This may be a challenge from the federal structure, but however, whenever there is a fight with regard to central and state, higher education, that is medical education, comes under concurrent list of the Constitution of India. And the center rules will prevail over the state, my dear friends. Hence, next exam regulation is going to standardize medical licensing exam and PG exam across India. Foreign medical graduates have to take these exams and they have to fall in line as per the regulation. There is a tight schedule with regard to conducting step 1 and step 2. And the common counseling is mandatory to enter into PG seats, my dear friends. Many of the private MBBS colleges are unhappy with this next exam and also common counseling. They cannot sell their management quota now. They cannot make huge amount of money. Hence, they are building an ecosystem to kill this next regulation. the sensible citizen need to support next exam. I agree there are some difficulties, and of course the new system takes some time. Hence it will be implemented in a phased manner, and this is the time we need to support NMC, because the National Medical Commission 2019 Act talks about removing this private medical colleges selling UG seats and PG seats, and NMC is in the right direction, and the private medical colleges are protesting. That means whenever you do right thing, the wrong people will protest. Hence, overall, I feel this regulation appears to be challenging, but it is going to standardize the medical education system across the country, my dear friends. Thank you very much for your valuable time. Stay safe.